Hello, this is part 2 of what I've read so far this year. The first book I will talk about is The 10th Muse by Chung. This was a fiction that kind of read a bit like a memoir. It follows a woman who, as an adult, is a mathematician and very brilliant in her own right, but she was born during World War II and grew up in an American town in the northern part of the United States. She faced a lot of bias in her very white town, and she also faced a lot of prejudice when she studied STEM in college. This was a really interesting read as she not only dealt with those biases in her, just day-to-day life, but also as she traveled and tried to explore her own heritage and find out, who her parents were and understand them better. So this was really good. I do recommend it. Chung's The 10th Muse. The next book I'll talk about is Alix E Harrow's A Spindle, Splintered. This was short fiction. I would say it was novella length. This read to me as almost like a either high school or college creative writing assignment. I didn't dislike it, but I didn't really see that there was much of a point of it either. This follows a young girl. She's a teenager who has a disease that will kill her. And she is somehow connected through magic to various other sleeping beauties from like all through time and space, and she just wants to save everyone. And by the end, I guess things end kind of happily, but I didn't really get anything out of this one. Now, this next book, also by Alix E Harrow, I read in February, and it is tied for my best book of the month. That was The 10,000 Doors of January, and it was stunning with its descriptions. Very beautiful, and I could definitely feel the stress that our main character was feeling. So this follows January, a young girl, as she grows up and becomes a teenager. Well, her father is an explorer, and he's often away and leaves her in the care of his employer. His employer is a collector, and it is sort of heartbreaking how January comes to rely so much on the collector and doesn't appreciate that he very much views her as an object. By the end of the story, she understands that this is not a person who really cares about her, but at least not in the way that you would want someone who's caring for a child and raising them to care for her. But it was a beautiful book. I loved the surprises that came about. I wasn't quite sure where it was going, and it was really good. All right, so the last book, which is also one of the best books of the month, was Ann Leckie's The Raven Tower. This was interesting. So this one was told from the perspective of a god. And gods in this particular world they're not truly immortal. They can be killed, they can die, but they're definitely not like humans at all. And the god that is our narrator here bounces between two different time periods, kind of the past of, its first interactions with people, and then the present where the god is pissed, the god is mad, and the god is going to take some retribution against some others who have harmed people that this god cares about. This was very intriguing. The magic of the gods was fascinating. The gods in this world cannot say something that is not true. So either they speak something that is not true and it kills them, or if they are sufficiently strong enough, they can speak something into being true. And that's just fascinating. I could not put it down once I started reading it. It was so quick to read through. I might actually purchase this one. We'll give it a year. We'll give it a year. I can be very impulsive with my book buying. Okay, those were the 4 books that I finished in February this year, with those last 2 being my favorites. And I hope to see you soon with a part 3. Thank you. Bye.